Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to Cosmo Muse Tarot. And this week we are going to be looking at the month of July 2025. And we have 3 piles to choose from. Within the reading, we are going to be looking at the 2 main things that July or the energies around July want to give you insight into, make you aware of, make you more conscious of. So a little bit of a quick read, but I wanted to get, if we dive into the 2 main things, that's sort of like at least giving you some headlines for your month. So let's dive into the 3 piles we've got. Pile 1 is cat. Pile 2, we have crane. And pile 3, we have golden unicorn. If you tend to usually feel like your Julys are jam-packed, like a lot tends to go on for you, or you're feeling a lot of energy, or have a lot of plans going on, feel free to pick more than 1 pile. If you don't have a lot that you're looking forward to, things seem pretty normal pace, or you just tend to, in general, usually not have big Julys, maybe stick to 1 pile. Or if, or sometimes we don't know, just feel what you're being drawn to. Maybe you are just drawn to more than 1 pile. But in this reading, because I'm keeping it kind of to like 2 main things each pile, I definitely feel like if you feel drawn to more than 1 pile, definitely go ahead and do that. So we are going to jump into readings now, and timestamps will be in descriptions. I will see you in your piles for your July readings. Hello, pile 1. Welcome to your July 2025 reading. We are going to be looking at 2 main things that Spirit wants you to know about for your month. So they may be circumstances, they may be more internal things. We'll just see what kind of comes up. Because a lot of July is under the season of Cancer in astrology, one thing I kind of consciously want to do is, instead of reading a lot of the cards the way I might typically do, like especially tarot where there are a lot of associated meanings, like Cancer is a sign that isn't so much about traditional definitions and logic and reason. It's very imaginative, and it's sort of like we tend to get insight and directives in this season through impressions, through imagery, through feeling. So I'm not going to be paying attention to typical associations, words that might be on a card. I'm really just going to be tuning into imagery and feeling here. So just one thing to kind of keep in mind, especially when tarot comes up, if you're familiar with tarot and I'm like going way off script, that's why. Okay, so let's look at the first thing we have going on, and this cat card, your card, is going to kind of give the overall tone, like the umbrella general vibe of what that is. And so we have the cat here. It's a black cat. I'm going to kind of cover up the words to just help me really feel into the card. Like, it feels very regal. It's got a sun behind it. It's got a very fancy collar, bright blue eyes against this beautiful black fur. I feel like there's something deeper in you. Like, to me, black is like going into the depths of something, into your inner world, into the hidden things. But there's something that you're allowing to shine about that. Like I feel like you're showing something deeper about you, and like really owning it with like a regality, with a command, and letting it be in the spotlight. And this cat is like comfortable. They don't feel shy here. So it's just like, it's like there's something coming up in this that it's like you're owning some deeper aspects of yourself and letting them really be in the spotlight here. So yeah, very interesting. So let's get a couple of cards, and this is I'm going to do a tarot card and an oracle card to get kind of a now vibe of what is going on, and then we're going to do this archetype card and then another tarot and oracle card to see where that's going. So sort of like a now and where's the trajectory. So what's going on right now around this thing that's like allowing something more profound and deeper in you to be seen? We've got this woman holding it. To me, it feels like a moon. I'm not looking at what the card is. I don't even know. It's, I'm sure, a court card, but she's got turquoise hair. She's holding a moon. She feels like an oracle to me because it's like against this night backdrop. And to me, turquoise is very, I don't know why I associate sort of like Scorpio energy with turquoise. Well, I do know why, but I'm not going to go into why. But that again is like, you know, something deeper, something more profound. You're using your capacity to see into deeper places to mirror things to people. You're bringing up your capacity to really be able to guide and illuminate and mirror things for people in a very healing way. So that's something you might be feeling right now, like you may be feeling like you've been able to mirror some things for people or to illuminate something that's very healing. There's a fearlessness around that. Like sometimes we can feel nervous about saying truths to people, you know, when they're asked, you know, when someone's vulnerable and they're telling you what's going on with you and they're looking for some mirroring. Sometimes we can be nervous about saying what we actually see because maybe it's not super great. But I feel like there's something going on with you right now where you're able to be true and honest, but like healing at the same time. And soft at the same time. Like soft yet bold, healing yet honest. Well, healing and honest, I shouldn't say yet honest. Healing and honest. Maybe I should say honest yet healing. But yeah, like there might be something around you right now where it's like you're able to really illuminate in powerful ways for people, which is super interesting because the moon to me is sort of that when you're taking things in and able to be that guidance and that mirror and reflect things and illuminate. But then the cat has the sun behind it, which is sort of like you being, you know, like in the moon, it's like you're observing, and with the sun, it's like you're being observed. So there's something interesting going on. It's almost like in your ability to observe and share and help others, you're seeing your star capacity to do that. You're being observed as being able to observe, if that makes sense. I hope it does. So that might be something you're feeling right now. And then let's get an oracle card around this. Country cottage. Try not to read the things, but that kind of is a big keyword title. But yeah, we've got a woman who is tending her garden. It looks like she has some clippers out, cutting flowers. It's hard to see, it's a little bit small, but okay, so there's chickens, we see a lantern, things are in bloom, she's clipping stuff. She feels very content to me. Like, I would imagine creating a beautiful garden like that and owning animals that are more kind of farm animals, that probably takes a lot of effort, you know? And it sort of feels like the fruit of labor, fruit of things you've put effort into are ready to be shared, ready to, like they are blossoming right now and things are vibrant and there's a certain sort of charm and expressiveness that is ready to be harvested in you at the moment. Like that's something you might be feeling, like very like the effort you've put into something is feeling like it's paying off and you're feeling content about something here. Okay, so that's sort of like the tuning fork, what might be being felt right now. Oops. Hold on one second, my microphone just dropped off of me. Okay, maybe there's a better way to pin this. We'll see. Okay, so let's get an archetype card, and it's going to kind of show how you're going from what this is right now, however you related to what I said, whatever that feels like to you right now, not in terms of like what's coming, but how it feels right now. What is pivoting about this? Why is this coming up? It's coming up because there's something that is going to be happening and building from here. But this archetype card, I'm intending to show what the pivot is, or what the impetus is that is creating kind of some kind of movement here. We've got vow. We've got hands bound together, and it's like many hands. We've got some kind of like a hawk. There's a moon under, oh no, wait, is that a stone? That might be like a diamond ring. So some kind of agreement being made, some kind of commitment being made that's really ready to soar. In the context of this card, it feels like maybe a commitment you've made to someone else, but metaphorically, if that doesn't make sense, a commitment you've made to yourself. But some kind of commitment, whether that is with another or to yourself, is like something's happening with that. So it might be a new thing that comes up. It might be something that has already been established, but like there's something happening around it that's big. So whatever resonates for you, if you're not aware of some kind of like commitment to self or commitment with others you've made, then I would expect this to come up very soon. And let's see what this is, where this is taking this energy of kind of this something coming, blossoming around your ability to really be in command of your ability to witness and illuminate things. And we've got this man with a sword, shirtless bald man with a sword. It feels, I'm going to cover these so it doesn't affect what I think. It feels very much so like focusing energy on something specific, stripping things down, right? Like he's barely got any clothing on. He's very focused on a singular thing, and that specific thing is sharp and pointy. So it's like stripping things down, like getting very pointed, very direct, very focused on something. You know, and this figure seems strong, so a lot of strength in that, like you're strong enough to do that now or something, or there's strength in doing that. So a commitment either or a vow type thing that you've made with yourself or with another is like really ready to, you know, it's moving from this phase of something that's blossoming. Something about your ability to observe and illuminate is tied into this. But something's happening in July where you're really coming into a stronger focus. Like even looking at this woman at the country cottage, it's very colorful. There's a lot of variety. There's a lot of, even though things are blossoming and she's picking the harvest, there's like a lot of different things going on. And then we move over to this figure holding the sword, and it's like one thing, is no longer about all the possibilities that could blossom and that are blossoming, but there's like one thing that's happening that you're starting to focus on, like, oh, I just realized these red flowers I'm clipping contain a healing property that's very valuable. And if I really want to take advantage of that and really create something potent out of that, I don't have time to tend to everything else that's blossoming, but this feels really important. And so it's okay if certain things kind of aren't taken advantage of, aren't collected, because what I can do with these red flowers outweighs everything else that might fall by the wayside by 100, like it's that important. And so suddenly that focus goes to a specific thing in all of this big pot of variety of things. And it might be, looking at the vow card, it might be because you've shown your strength. You've been observed being an observer, or like someone that has observed how, like, a certain skill set you have, a certain potency you possess, and they're like pointing it out, which either is getting you to make a vow with yourself to really work on that and take that forward in some way, or someone is like, I'd love to do something with you around that. And so like this new kind of collaboration or partnership really starts to focus the energy there because of that. Okay, let's get an oracle card around this. And we've got, can't help but seeing the money magic. And here it is, there's like it is coming, it feels like partnership or at least community. And it's really funny because it's like you go from all this variety and possibility and pollinating a lot of things and creating a lot of color and expressiveness to really pointing towards a specific thing and really focusing and stripping it down, like maybe an editing process to really refine and fine tune. But paradoxically, on the other side of that focusing and stripping things down and like going in a specific direction or doing a specific thing, suddenly life completely blossoms around that. So as a metaphor, let's continue with like this woman maybe realizes all of these red flowers have some potent healing capacity that A, you want to share because it's so healing, but B, could be lucrative for you. And so you let some of the other things you've cultivated kind of not be taken advantage of and not upkept because you're focusing on the red flowers, but then in pointing yourself towards that and giving everything to that, all of a sudden it's like a whole world starts to develop around those red flowers. A whole, like interesting people pollinate into this world and different things that help those red flowers are planted. And, it's like a more specific ecosystem that gets created around a pointed thing. And it does feel, I can't help but see the money magic. I'm not going to read what's underneath it. It does feel flourishing, whether that is literal money or just some kind of abundance of stuff coming in. And this woman, and she has a red dress on. It's like, yeah, focusing on the thing that's important, focusing on the thing that's profound. And she's got a sun in her chest on this red dress, which is kind of a mirror of this cat being illuminated by a sun. There's something in you that is really powerful that is coming to light, that's becoming more conscious, more pointed, more it's inherently powerful, but it's becoming empowered because of how conscious and pointed you are with it. And around that, there's just like a lot of flourishing energy and potentially some partnership stuff or potentially community gathering around it. But it does feel like July is helping to bring pointed energy, committing, focusing, and pointing your energy in some way, and that really being empowering, and it really highlighting something special in you, a special capacity you have to share and use as kind of, it feels healing. You know, you don't have to be a healer. This doesn't have to be something where it's like you are a guide or a counselor, but there is an undercurrent of that there, where it's like you know how to observe something. Hence, you know how to point energy, right? Okay, let's move on to the second thing in July that's going to be really important. Okay, let's get your animal. Starfish, intuition. And again, I'm not going to read anything else on it. I mean, does this feel a little bit like it continues the story in some ways? I do feel like you're feeling your star power. You're being observed. People are seeing you. For sure. But like something else may come from it than what we read before. Like, you know, multiple things I think are coming from allowing yourself to be seen. So this, I don't know, like with the starfish, this might be something that's a little bit more fun and playful and light. Like this ability to have a little bit more fun this month. I don't know. Let's see what else comes out here. So let's get a tarot card. So what's going on right now, like the tuning fork, what should you be feeling right now around this starfish energy, which feels like kind of being seen? And we've got a fox with some swords. It's laying down its sword. Foxes are very clever. They have a lot of swords to use, right? They probably have a lot of hidden swords, a lot of ways to use swords. They're very clever. They're very strategic. They're very stealth. But this particular fox is laying down a sword. So I don't know if there's something where you're just like ready to make a truce, or how would this relate to starfish? Well, it's just like opening your heart, you know, like maybe you've been battling with something. This reading is starting to feel more about like inner feeling, like attitude, rather than an event. Where it's like, I'm so done with trying to win something or trying to outsmart something or trying to be clever. And in putting down your sword and just saying like, I'm kind of tired of this mode I've been in, something like opens in your heart, and suddenly you move from this like very stealthy fox to this very kind of glamour, you know, like to me, foxes can also be a little bit glamorous. And yeah, there's something in that. It's like you're putting down something, you know, some angst. Calling a truce, putting down a sword, putting down an attitude, putting down something that's kind of been turbulent inside of you. Not necessarily outside of you, could be, but minimally inside of you. It's like you're putting it down, you've had it, you're done with it, And it's like your heart opens and suddenly like life is a little bit more fun. And it's allowing you to see your star capacity, to feel a little bit more open and vibrant, and you know, people more attracted to you because of that. So it's like attracting light and joy and interest in art versus attracting swords. And it's because you're putting your sword down, so you're not attracting swords anymore, and you're putting your heart out there, so you're attracting heart energy back and like play and fun back. So that's something that you might be feeling right now, or something that kind of is in line with that in some way. It feels just generally like an attitude shift. And then we have this woman digging in the soil, and there's a, like specifically in this one, there's a snail. She's got work gloves on, like she's in the thick of like doing something. She's got a spade, a snail. She's in the dirt. She's very focused. She's like making life fertile. It's like starting, almost like it kind of feels like there used to be flowers there and she's like ripped them out, and now she's making that land fertile to grow something else. Maybe that's what it is. Like you're ready to grow in new ways. And so you're very open right now, like open-minded, open-hearted, because you're ready to plant different things, grow in different ways. That's what that feels like to me. So something about that might resonate. And then let's get an archetype card to see why this is coming up as important. How is something being activated to kind of continue growing or pivot here? The dead end. Yeah, I mean, that goes along with the fox. There's something you're done with. Yeah, are you done with, are there some people you're done with? Is it an attitude you're done with? Is it a job you're done with? Is it some schooling you're done with? This doesn't feel like a, you know, like schooling you could be done with because of a graduation. It doesn't feel like a graduation. It feels like something you're just saying no more. Dead end, no more. And it feels like something turbulent. So it's either like an inner tension you've been dealing with and you're just like, I need to change my attitude so I can be done with this, or there's circumstances or people around you that you're just like, I'm done, you know. I can't fight this anymore, so I'm either walking away, or I'm forgiving, or I'm putting my sword down, or I'm just putting my attention elsewhere, right? So I can grow new things. I need a fresh start in some way, and it's opening your mind, it's opening your heart, because it's like you've hit the wall with something. It's done. So let's see what this means. So going forward into July, what is this? Where are we pivoting to here? What's happening with this? And we've got sort of a religious figure here, which is obvious to me which tarot card that is, so I'll try not to let that affect me. Yeah, we've got a religious figure. In back of him, there's an archway with kind of the cosmos behind him. So to me, this feels like divine intervention, a divine message. It feels more like a download versus a person. Like there's some kind of angelic message coming to you, a download coming to you. You may meet, this to me would be more like a random one-off stranger type circumstance where it's like you bump into somebody in the grocery store line and they say something to you that like shifts something in you, or meet someone at a party that has, it feels like one of those things where it's like you don't see that person again. If it comes through a person, it feels like that weird thing where it's like you bump into a random person at a party and it's so-and-so's cousin from Georgia who's gonna be going back to Georgia, and you may not have even gotten their name, but you're definitely not gonna see them again. But there was like a conversation and it delivered something to you. But it could as easily be through something you read, or just a download that appears, or synchronicities that keep happening that kind of point you in certain ways. But there's it feels like a divine message coming to you that's showing you the way. And it's because your heart is opening. It's because you're putting down, metaphorically, a sword, whatever that means to you. Your heart and mind are opening, and that allows you to receive some kind of divine message or divine intervention. Okay, let's get an oracle card for this. We've got a woman hanging a wreath on a door. A new pathway, like doors to me are like, they can be portals, they can be thresholds, and then a wreath is kind of like the cycle of life or something eternal. In this image, it almost looks like a portal on top of a portal. The hole in it is very big. It's like a portal on top of a portal. It's interesting, there's a butterfly inside that is on the door, which means like the feeling I'm getting there is like whatever that portal is has a lot of beauty. It does feel like follow those breadcrumbs. Like to me, a butterfly is something you might kind of, as it meanders and they go kind of slow, you can kind of meander with it and follow it. It's like it's like a breadcrumb. So it's like follow those soft, beautiful things. They're leading you to a new doorway, a portal, a threshold of something new. And then there's these colorful strings hanging down. That feels like different people, more variety of people coming in. And honestly, this is subjective, but just to me, this person's house, like one person might look at this image in this woman's house and be like, oh, it's so charming and all the knickknacks are probably sentimental and handmade and beautiful. But I'm looking at it just being like, oh my gosh, there's so much clutter and knickknacks and junk. Like it's driving me nuts. Like it feels so cluttery to me. And I feel like maybe that's just because that's what I'm feeling. I feel like you're moving from like a cluttered mentality, a cluttered situation, into something fresh and new, and something following that butterfly energy into something really beautiful and lighter. Like this feels very, all the knickknackies, and it's very earthy. It feels heavy to me, and it's like, follow that butterfly to the doorway. There's something lighter, a little bit lighter, a little bit more clear that it wants to take you into. So yeah, new potential, new opportunity coming in. So very, very cool. Okay, that is where I'm going to leave you guys. So definitely, between the two readings, even though I think they are touching into different things, there is that common thread of like some star energy around you, Like, allow yourself to be seen, allow yourself to have a little bit more fun, open yourself up. In that first circumstance, it's like really own something profound in you, some capacity you have, like really claim it and own it. In this one, it's like have a little bit more fun, ease up, be done with something that's driving you nuts, whether it's internal or external or both. And yeah, I just feel like the light coming in for you guys. So that's really beautiful. All right, happy July to you guys. I hope you have a really beautiful one. Of course, if this resonated, all the things are helpful. Like, share, subscribe. Definitely comments are very helpful. And yeah, thank you for being here, letting me read your cards, and have a beautiful July. Hello, Pile 2. Welcome to your July 2025 reading. We are going to be looking at 2 things that Spirit wants you to know about July. 2 main headlines. What are the 2 main things? They may be events, they may be internal things going on. We'll just see what the cards point us toward. Something I forgot to talk about in the intro is that because a lot of July is ruled by Cancer season, and that being a season that really is not about like logic and thinking and plans and reason. It's very connected to impressions and imagery and emotion. I'm doing my best not to read interpretations of cards. And so, like, especially the tarot cards I use, if you know tarot and I'm going way off script, that's why I'm trying not to like read into tarot card associations. I'm really, with any card I'm pulling, I'm really going to be looking at the imagery and feeling feelings and seeing what comes up. Okay, so let's look at the first thing that Spirit wants you to know about July. And the card you chose is sort of like the overarching energy around this. And you have crane. But in terms of the image, there's a whole bunch of cranes, like they're birds of a feather flock together is what's coming up for me. And it's very ethereal, right? The colors in this, it feels very ethereal, very soft. Like these birds don't necessarily, to me, feel like they're migrating or doing something important. It feels almost like they're enjoying each other's company and catching a current and really feeling into just movement and moving with others, you know? So I don't know, there's something here about birds of a feather flock together. So social stuff or friendship or family, you know, things with people. Okay, so we're going to get a tarot card and an oracle card to kind of as a tuning fork to say what's going on with this right now as you enter July. And then we're going to do an archetype card that's showing why this is important to tune into, and what this pivot point is that is giving some growth and movement and traction to this energy. And then we'll do another tarot card and oracle card to see where it's going. So kind of like a now, the activation with the archetype card, and then where it's going. Okay, so let's get a tarot. That one kind of wanted to fall out. And it's a woman. She kind of looks like she's I'm feeling into this. Is she exiting somewhere or about to enter? Like the 2 sides of sticks feel like an entryway, you know? So I don't know if she's an entry or an exit. So I don't know if she's like exited a path or she's about to enter a path and is kind of like looking back one last time. That's what it looks like to me. And feels like to me. It's like she's taking because she feels very put together. She feels like she's been preparing. I feel like if you're exiting somewhere, you're a little bit more like sweaty and like disheveled, like you've been through a journey and it's kind of, you know, but here it's like she's fresh, she's new, she's put together. She's been prepared. So there's something you've been preparing for and you're about to enter and you're taking a last look back right now. So I don't know if there's something about to happen in your life, something new you're about to do that you've been preparing for, or you just feel ready for. She feels eager, you know, she feels, calm but eager, you know, she feels, I don't know, she just feels put together. She feels put together, whatever that means for you. Do you feel put together in some way around something new or something coming in or some fun opportunity? Because we have that birds of the feather, it might just be something social, like you're going to a party that you're excited about. I know that's not very doesn't feel very pivotal, but who knows? Let's see what oracle card we get. Okay, so we have a woman who is kind of, does she have wings on? Let's see. No, those are sleeves. But she's kind of magical. It's like she's got a little wand and there is a crescent moon, which I always associate as being a little magical. Some magic mushrooms here, lots of little animals. Sunrise or sunset. Kind of feels like sunset to me, like night, you know, dusk magic, dusky magic. Going into nighttime, you know, going into the dream, you know, heading in towards dreamland and towards the other realms. And those, you know, these animals are on her dress. They're actually not like, you know, this fox and the bird, and there's another fox over here. They're actually not real in the background. They're like painted on her dress. So that does make me feel like that's the other realm, you know? It's not just that they're on the fabric and they're representing what's in that other realm. So it's like you're very much so in connection with something on the other side. Oh, on the other side of this entrance. It's like you're already talking to, you already have a lot of communication with what you're about to enter. There's a lot of energy there for you. There's a lot going on. It's going to be very magical, whatever you enter. Oh, maybe it's like you're going to find the birds of a feather that flock together. Like whatever you're about to enter into or whatever starts for you this season, you'll feel like uniquely put together for it. So even if you're not prepared, like already prepared and like I feel put together for this, if you're like I don't know what that would be, maybe it's like when something comes up, some new thing for you to enter, it's like you'll feel uniquely put together for it, like it's uniquely for you. And on the other side, it's like it's already been talking to you. You already have these lines of communication in there, but it's like subtle. It's very, you know, other world and magical. So you might feel like, oh, it's just imagination, but it's like, no, there are actually things you've already been, maybe through dreams, but maybe in your sensitivities, already been in communication with. And it's like they're waiting for you. That subtleness, those subtle energies are like prepared, but also the birds of a feather, your soul people, are waiting for you. So this is talking about what's happening right now. It's like the tuning fork energy. So it's like, do you already feel that like there's something about to hit that's like really made for you? Do you already feel this sense of going somewhere, or this sense of subtle things are constantly communicating things to you? Okay, so let's look at why this is coming up. What is activating here? The riddle. Okay. Well, we see stars. We see some hands, there's knots. To me, it's not so much, because I don't want to look at the words. When I look at this, I don't necessarily see a riddle. I see bindings. I see being bound in your star contract to certain events and certain people. So something that was like in your pre-life contract about this life is starting in July. And it involves other people. It involves what you were born for. They're like something that's in your stars is meant for you. But it's like the binding to that agreement you had about this before you came into this life is the time is coming for this thing that you're already bound to. You already agreed to. And so, because we already saw the riddle, and I'm just trying not to like use that association, and I'm glad I kind of put that to the side for a minute, because now the riddle makes sense to me. In that, because something so strange and unique and like fated or destined feels like it's coming in, it may feel like a riddle to you. Like, what is happening? Like, this all feels so bizarre. And it's like, and like familiar, you know, like I know these people and I already have like these subtle knowings of things. So like, that's so weird and it feels like a riddle, but that's what it is like you were already bound to it before you agreed and bound yourself to something before you came into this life. And it's like ready to, like the time is right for that to come up. Interesting. Okay, so where is this going to lead? Where is this going to? What growth is coming in or energy is coming in with this timing? You know, this thing that's kind of destined and fated and wow. Fertility, pregnancy. I think you're going to feel very much so like you're in the right place. Like I was born for this, right? I almost feel like it's you in that woman's womb. Like I was born for this. I have been incubated for this. I have been designed for, whatever designed me for this, and just beautiful, fertile timing, it feeling not like if you have any sense of like, I don't know if that word is scary to some people, being bound to something, that might feel a little witchy to some people. But I'm just all of a sudden feeling this, that like I meant it in a positive term, but some people may not have felt that positively. And so this, I don't know why this is coming up. Why this card is showing me this, but it's positive. The binding is positive, the way that you're bound to a mother. That's the way it will feel, like it's family. Like I was born of this lineage. I'm bound to this ancestry. I'm bound to this DNA, which I understand some people don't like their lineage, or their mother wasn't really a mother, but this is in the positive sense, like really beautiful bird of a feather kind of mother, the one that's like you just know each other, but yeah, there's something you're really gonna come into yourself and like, oh, okay, there's just this feeling like I was born for this, whatever it is that comes through here. Okay, let's get an oracle card for this. I feel like that wants to come out. Look at that. There's a whole family and there's literally a baby. But I feel like that take this how you will. It's a little weird, but because of the context of how I was reading, like I almost feel like you were the one that's incubate, you know, like this woman is what's, you know, designed you. And then all of a sudden we get this family and there's a baby, and I feel like you're the baby, like you've finally been delivered to the place and people and time you're supposed to be. It's not about a literal mother or a literal specific person, but it's like a circumstance that, you know, you've come home to this circumstance that you came here to be a part of. You came here to be part of something, but you had to arrive at a certain time to be at a certain place in life, to be right for the right moment, to be part of this thing that is what your design is about in this lifetime. I hope this makes sense, but it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. There's something really positive going on here, and it's going to be like, yeah, this is my place, these are my people, this is what I was born for. And it may not be like a big profound thing. It might just be this felt sense of like coming home, that's subtle, some kind of shift, some kind of opening, some kind of thing going on where it's like, oh, this feels like home. And it could even just be, you know, looking at this woman that came out first, it could even be that new feeling about your own body. You know, for some people that might just be like, oh, I feel at home in myself finally, for whatever reason. I don't know what shifted, but I suddenly feel at home in myself. Or it could be bigger, where it's like you move somewhere, or a different job starts, or you find a community, you know, you start taking some kind of class and, you know, that you really enjoy, and you find your people, you know. It could be so many different things, but there's something where it's like, oh yeah, this feels like I was meant to do this or be here or feel this way, you know? So a really, really profound, big, beautiful thing for your, you know, for a pretty big thing to come through in a month reading, you know? Okay, let's see. What is the second thing Spirit wants you to be aware of for July? Another circumstance or internal thing or event. And we have chameleon, but try not to read the language there. I do love the colors here. I love like this little guy. He's holding a what is that called? The Metatron thing, cube thing. Losing the words. But whatever the name of that thing is, for whatever reason, I can't think. I think it's like a Metatron. Anyway, it is like a geometric shape that a lot of more metaphysical type of studies and people will say that like that is something that our light body can travel into different dimensions and different worlds. And so there is this element of like maybe arriving somewhere that is like a different world and knowing how to blend in, or feeling like you just naturally blend in. But it would indicate some kind of major departure from where you have been. So if this is related to the first thing that came through, it would definitely indicate something big shifting, like moving to a foreign country or something like that. I mean, it doesn't have to be that big, but kind of, you know, you get the idea, something that feels very different. if this doesn't necessarily relate to the first thing that came through, there's something, I don't know, there's just something you may, you know, like this may be more of a light-hearted thing and just some ebb and flow of the month where you end up, I don't know, like I feel like I had these moments when I was in college and you're suddenly broken out of high school where it's very cliquey and you kind of have your group. You might switch a little throughout the years, but there's still a lot of like sticking to whatever group you're in at the moment. But you get to college and all of a sudden it's like, for those of you that have been to college, and you know, that's not everyone's path, but just speaking to my own experiences, like when I went to college, there were these experiences where I was like, yeah, I had some good friends and people that I, you know, were regularly in my life and that I socialized with, but there were always so many things going on, and it wasn't uncommon that suddenly I would be at a party with some new people I'd just met, and then you meet people at that party and you go to a next party with totally different people than you showed up with, and you're just having all these like very random one-off experiences that sometimes turn into bigger friendships, but sometimes they're just one-off, and it kind of feels like your month might have elements of that, where it's like, you know, your friend has some friend, you know, another friend that comes in town, but that friend who comes in town also knows some other people they want to see. So you just like end up doing, you know, like meeting all these random people and doing things you don't normally do. And like multiple scenarios like that happening where it's just like, you know, so take that as you will. If like maybe there's something very different you're about to do, moving abroad, or maybe it's more light where it's like this month might be filled with these just like very random, potentially one-off, you know, funny things where you're just like, you know, going with the flow and blending in with who's there and experiencing what arises, and just kind of like letting the tides take you wherever, and that touching you into things that are very different, you know, that aren't your normal flow. Okay, so let's see with a tarot and an oracle card, what do we need to know right now about this? You may have your guard up about this, and that would make sense with like a chameleon, you know, like needing to blend in. That is kind of a fear response, right? Well, I shouldn't say fear. It's like a survival thing. And this up, it's like, I don't know, there might be something going on around you that is just different, that you're not used to, and you have a little bit of your guard up. Part of you is trying to blend in, and part of you is like, whoa, hold on, and like I'm putting some boundaries up because I'm a little bit like unsure. So like some uncertainty could be felt right now around something that feels different. Okay, let's get your oracle card. Oops, that fell right on out. And it's like a bath, you know, like a flower and herbal, well, this does say citrus fruit, but I feel like this is like an herbal bath, right? Soothing, but invigorating at the same time with the citrus. So there's something, it does call to self-care to me. Like, I think right now you need to really, really tune into what you need, and tune into how to do some self-care, and to give yourself a little bit of downtime and space, because I think this chameleon is indicating that like something is about to pick up in speed. So it's like, take care of yourself right now. It's okay to have your boundaries up right now. What is the self-care you need? What do you need right now? Yeah, lean into that, But I do get the sense that like something different and, you know, a little out of the ordinary and a little like some movement is about to come. But it's like, give yourself some space and some self-care right now, just to kind of get you on your feet, make you feel in your body, make you feel grounded, you know, that kind of stuff. So let's get an archetype card and see, you know, why this is coming up. What is kind of instigating some sort of movement here? The animal. I think this is an inner call. I think there's something you're craving. I think you're craving a little bit of adventure. You're craving a little bit of trying new things, doing different things. But I feel like that animal aspect of you also really knows when to take care of yourself. So I feel like this is more of an internal thing to me then, where it's like you feel that call from within to kind of like get out and engage life in different ways than you've been doing, to kind of mix it up. But there's this breath, you're taking a big breath before you do that, you know, which is self-care, which is putting up a few boundaries to feel, you know, to help you ground, help you feel safe before you answer the call of that wild, you know, answer the call of the wild, to go out and eat life up, to experience, you know, it feels like animalistic, like I want to touch life, I want to experience life, I want to engage in life, I'm hungry for life, right? And for new things and different experiences. But let me ground first, let me feel safe in myself first, let me tend to a little bit of self-care before I answer that call. So at some point in July, I feel like you will be answering the call, and let's see what happens here. Oh, interesting. Okay. You know, not everything that our impulses take us towards end up turning out great. This is nothing to fear. The Ten of Swords to me is like a Gemini-ish card, and I know I'm trying not to do associations with tarot, but some associations were felt, so I'm reading it as a tarot card. Ten of Swords, even though it does feel like this stab in the back, it feels very dramatic. It's a Gemini card, and Gemini is that teenage energy where we over dramatize things and everything feels like the end of the world and our emotions are all over the place. But usually those teenage things that happen are not the end of the world. They're very inconsequential in the big picture. But there is this social element going on here where maybe not everything that you are hungry for and engage in is going to go perfectly. To me, this is more like what I'm feeling, because it feels like this social hunger now coming up, or this just hunger to like engage in life full body, full heart, where you may not be this person, so take it more as a metaphor if you're not this person, where it's like you go out and you want to be part of the crowd, you're eager for experience, you're hungry to just live life up and have fun. And you go out and you go to that concert, and then you go to an after party and this and that, and you're drinking, and the next day you're just like, what did I do to myself? I'm so hungover. I feel like crap. I didn't even really like those people. I just kind of like was in the moment. And you just have that, I don't know, even if that's not you and you're not someone that's ever, you know, had alcohol and had a hangover, which I don't do in my life anymore, but when I was in college I had plenty of these nights, where you just like the next day were like, why did I do that? Why did I hang out with those people? Why did I go out to the after party? I just feel like crap and nothing like productive, it was just kind of stupid. There may be some moments, so if that's not you, you're not like a party animal. You may just have some social scenarios where you do just stay out later than you would, and you had to work the next morning and you're just tired, instead of being hungover, you're tired and you're like, why did I do that? I didn't really enjoy the company or what we were doing, and I knew I had to work, and I just feel like, blah, and it's like, don't beat yourself up for those decisions. Sometimes you do just have to let loose. So more and more this is feeling like the party animal. You're just hungry for things. If you stay out too late and you have to work the next morning, don't beat yourself up. In 24 hours, you'll feel just fine, and then you'll laugh, You'll look back and you'll laugh. Just don't do anything that's going to get you in trouble. Sometimes when we're in group mentalities, we'll do things we wouldn't do on our own that can get us in trouble, That's all I'll say. So just make wise decisions that way. Like, don't do anything illegal. Don't do, don't drive if you shouldn't be driving. Don't say bad things to someone because you're upset or you think they're being a jerk. Just kind of like, be kind, be smart, and don't beat yourself up if you stay out late one night and then you have to work and you're just like, whoa, what did I do? It's fine. You're gonna laugh in 24 hours or 48 or maybe in a week, whatever. Let's get a little more context with the oracle cards though. And then we have roses. And this is what I'm talking about, is like sometimes those stupid nights you have, or going to a concert, like another scenario is like, oh, maybe, like Taylor Swift just had her big Eras tour and those tickets were astronomical. And so that's another scenario that might come up to me. I didn't do this, but I could see this happening. Like, everyone's going, it's the talk of the town. Like, I feel like I should experience it because it's a cultural moment. So I'm going to spend $1,000 on these tickets, and then I go and I don't enjoy it because I don't really listen to Taylor Swift. Nothing against Taylor Swift. I don't dislike her music. I just don't know it. But I'm just imagining if I were to have spent $1,000, she didn't come to the city where I live in, so I would have had to travel and then spend money on hotel and food. And it's that thing where it's like, okay, I spent all this money and I went to this big cultural phenomena thing and it was fine, like I didn't not enjoy it, but like I should have spent that money on something else. And so you beat yourself up. This is like a fake scenario for me. I beat myself up because I did that. And it's like, it was fine. But that, I really needed to get a new couch or something that I should have done. And so I beat myself up in the moment. But 5-10 years down the road, it's this thing that you look back on and you're like, that was actually pretty cool. Like, in the moment, I maybe didn't appreciate it, but like looking back, it was an experience, and it was this cultural moment in history that I'm a part of now. I'm woven into a historical moment, and that's actually super cool. Or, there were some people that came along on that trip, a friend of a friend who I became friends with, and then I met her brother, who I fell in love with, and we got married, like, even though in the moment or 24 or 48 hours after something feels like, there still might be something to it. Like, trust your intuition, trust that hunger that's calling to you, because maybe you look back and you're like, that was actually a moment, even though in the moment it felt stupid, it led me to the person I married, or it made me feel like I'm part of the fabric of something that was so much bigger than me. So whatever it is that you can't appreciate in the moment, that you might feel frustrated with in yourself in July, know that there's something bigger going on there. There's a bigger design going on there that is very beautiful, that is going to hold some very positive memories, even though in the moment it might feel like, geez, what did I do? It's a stepping stone to something bigger, being part of something bigger, leading to a connection to someone that becomes something big to you. Just a memory you look back on and are like, that's such an interesting story in my life. You know, like, I'm glad I said yes. I'm glad I answered the call of that hunger and overdid it a little, overspent, overdrank, over whatever it is, overstayed up, you know. That's what this feels like. There's a hunger in you. You might overdo something and then feel a little bit of regret, or just like, ugh, for a bit. Brush it off. Brush it off, because it's part of something bigger in your life. It really opens you to something. It really leads to something you look back on fondly, or it leads as a stepping stone to someone or something important. So hold that perspective and just, you know, be cool. Be cool about it, guys. Okay, so that is where we're going to end your July reading. Very fascinating. I hope it resonated. I do think, you know, that first thing that came out for July was like so gorgeous and pretty, and like, you know, the coming home to something that was in your pre-life contract. And then we have this more silly thing that's like, I don't know how they tie into each other or if they do, but it just feels like, say yes, you know, say yes to life. Be smart, you know, be smart, be kind, but say yes to the things. Say yes to your hunger. Say yes to the doors opening to you. Brush off the little stuff. Have a beautiful July. All right. If this resonated, I always appreciate all those things. The likes, share, subscribe. Comments are very helpful in helping others find the channel. And thank you so much for being here. I love reading, so thank you for allowing me to read for you. And I hope to see you in future readings. Hello, Pile 3. Welcome to your July reading. We are going to be looking at two kind of stories of like important things that Spirit wants you to know about for your July. They could be events, circumstances, internal things going on, just like whatever it is that Spirit finds you really should have some insight into. Something I forgot to talk about in the intro, so I'll just say before we jump in, is because Cancer season is the majority of July, and it's a season that really doesn't plug into like reason and logic and articulation and definitions. It's much more about like impressions and feelings and imagery. I'm going to be somewhat ignoring any words that are on cards or like tarot definitions that I already know, and I'm really going to be leaning into the imagery and feelings that come through. Sometimes with the tarot, those will match to the tarot meaning, and if so, I will pick up on talking about the tarot meaning. Other times it hasn't matched, so I just ignore it. So we'll see what happens. So let's jump in. The first thing that we're going to look at that Spirit wants you to know about July is represented by your card that you picked. So we've got this like golden unicorn. It's in the clouds. It's got these purple hooves, I think. Is that the hooves? I think so. it just like, it feels like a very it's interesting because there's like an ethereal quality in terms of like the clouds, but then the coloring of the unicorn itself is very flashy. Like, it feels very Leo-esque to me, like the lion. It's like a lion unicorn, but it's like living in the ethereal clouds. So I'm trying to like feel into what's being done here, what this is trying to say. I mean, I do feel you being ready. You know, you're up on your hind legs. It's like ready to go forward with something, eagerness. And then the horn of the unicorn to me is like pointing somewhere. It is like third eye energy. It's pointing somewhere. But we're in the clouds. It's very paradoxical to me. It's almost like there's something really specific that's incubating, but it's not quite ready to come into reality, which would make sense with a unicorn. That is sort of like a dream realm creature. It's not a real creature on Earth. So I kind of feel that you're maybe in like a little bit more of a daydreaming mode in July. But it's not for naught. It's like the things you're dreaming up, while in imagination and incubation, they are, you know, magical. When they're done with incubation and when there's something ready to manifest or anchor into reality with the magical things you're dreaming about, there's still an essence there of magic. There's still something like visionary. There's something visionary that you do still bring some magic to when it is able to kind of anchor into reality. But there is this thing that's like, allow yourself to daydream, allow yourself to dream, allow yourself to be in a bit of fantasy going into July. So I'm going to get a tarot and an oracle card to kind of get the tuning fork of what's going on right now around this. And then we're going to do an archetype card, which shows why this is important, what's activating some growth around this. So like where we start, why is this activating with more growth, and where is that growth going then? So after the archetype card that shows what's activating, why it's activating, we'll do a tarot and an oracle card to show then like where that goes. So it's kind of like a starting point, an activation, and then where the trajectory of where it goes. So starting point, what's going on initially here? Dreaming of distant lands, looking far off into the future, looking into the horizon. Are you mapping something about your future? Do you have dreams for your future right now? I mean, everyone does, right? But there's something about that that's important. It's like, look, don't just be in dreamland for the hell of it. Like, point your dreams towards your future. What are you dreaming of for your future? That's what it is, right? You're not just dreaming to dream. You're not just totally meandering with no direction. It's like you're dreaming, but you're pointing the dream. You're picking a target. So 5 years from now, what dreams would I like to have come true? You know, so there's a target with your dreams. There's a vision with your dreams. There's some kind of pointed aspect of your dream. So be intentional with your dreaming, I guess, is like the point here. Look into your future and be intentional about what you're dreaming about right now. And then we've got this close up of a female. Oh, she's got 2 different colored eyes. Oh, and then we see sun. I was like, she's got a necklace, and then it said sunstone. I was trying to cover up the words. But she's got, yeah, I mean, I would have kind of come to that conclusion anyway, this necklace that sort of like it's a little bit more pink than a yellow, but it kind of has this sun-like quality. She's got some flowers in her mouth. Her eyebrows are like branches or things, like twigs growing up. What is going on here? Oh, this or that. The blue eye and the green eye could be like this way or that way. Envisioning different futures, right? One future feels more green, one future feels more blue. There's some kind of needing to find what feels like home, needing to find what's coming from the heart, from source. But it's like you need to play with a couple visions to feel the resonance, and you'll feel it. You'll feel something activate in you when you find the right vision. So I do feel a process here where it's like, be intentional with your dreaming, point it towards your future. But initially, even though there's like a target or a time frame you're looking at, something like that, allow yourself to then meander. Okay, so 5 years from now, I want my future to look, what do I want my future to look like, right? Ask that, what do I want it to look like? Which allows you to dream a lot of different kinds of scenarios and possibilities and pathways. And wait for the different, as you envision and imagine different possibilities and pathways, wait for the one that lights you up. One of them is going to light you up. So allow, find the target, but then open it up. And then wait for something to activate for you. You're going to find a really specific vision and goal and dream for your future, but you need to let it meander a little bit at first. So don't be frustrated by not having that clear vision right away. Just be clear about where that vision goes. What is the job I want in my future? What is the spouse I want in my future? What do I want generally my future to look like? And, and put a time frame in 5 years, in 10 years. What is it for you? What is it that you want to manifest? Is it a specific thing in the future? Is it your general future? How far into the future? Get specific about those things, but then open it up and wait for one scenario, one thing that you envision to just really activate your heart. Okay, so archetype card, what is coming in to really activate this? Timing. Yeah, there's something important about timing here. It's the right time to dream a future into being, and time is asking you to pay attention to it. There's some kind of right timing, divine timing to plant seeds right now, to envision your future right now. And Cancer season is a great time to play with imagination, to play with a little bit of fiction. But for some reason, you're being asked to direct that future forward, which isn't typically a Cancer season thing. There's like an element of Aquarius going on here, where it's like either Capricorn or Aquarius energy infused here, where it's like, it's all great and fun to dream, but what are you, it's almost like you really, I don't know, some of you might have like a Capricorn or Aquarius sun, moon, or rising. Where it's like, dreams are great, but only if they're productive kind of thing, or like structured or pointed somewhere. How can I architect with my dreams? You know, use my dreams as scaffolding for something. So, I mean, it's smart. It's, you know, great manifesting tools coming in for you, but there is something about timing here. You may not have any Capricorn or Aquarius in your chart, but it's like you're being told that it's important to think about your future in the way you're dreaming right now and imagining, and yeah. Okay, so where is this going? Mirroring, projecting. This feels like projecting into the future. You should find like some YouTube videos that help with things like astral projection or Akashic records, things where you can travel through time, whether it's like getting information from the Akashic records, which is like, for those of you that don't know what that is, it's like an ethereal realm library of everything that ever has and will happen, and you can access records, and there's plenty of YouTube videos that teach you how to access the Akashic records, guided journeys on those, or like astral traveling is like moving into a more subtle body, like your light body, and traveling. And I'm pretty sure, I don't do a lot of astral traveling, but I think you can travel into the future. But that one feels more like traveling into the future to see potentials or something, like not getting this concrete answer like the Akashic records might have, but like projecting into the future through astral travel to kind of witness possibilities or feel, just tap your imagination in different ways, you know, in very futuristic ways. But I do feel this thing of like projection. What you plant here becomes reality here. And what we incubate and think it is never exactly what it is. But there's something here where it is sort of like, it's, you know, the energy around your third eye and your ability to imagine and project into the future is like very accurate right now. So like what you imagine and what manifests is very, very close. There's just like shades of color that are different, but the shape is exactly right. The design is exactly what you imagine it to be. You know, it's like so close. It's so specific. So that is another thing, like be very specific. Use that really strong third eye vision coming through to like really, really clearly envision things about your future, because yeah, I feel like what can manifest from intention right now can be really, really closely aligned to what you imagine. Okay, let's get an oracle card. Okay, we've got a woman, there's horses, they're in like a mountain like a valley of under mountains, there's sun and butterflies. It feels like, I mean, anytime there's horses, to me it feels like movement and power. She's like running with the horses. It's interesting, she's not on the horses, she's like running with them. They seem like they're in movement. And some of the way that like the art is used in this gives movement to things. So I do feel this sense of movement here. But this figure on the card is like keeping up with the movement of nature and of powerful things. and of like butterflies. To me, that could be the air realm, like of ideas. Horses are of like powerful concrete things. The sun is high in the sky, so energy is high. It's like catching a current of something. It's like when that vision turns on for you and it's like really clear, get as specific as you can, and that helps you to really catch a current. And there's like a movement. There's movement that you tap into, an energy that you tap into that just gives you the horsepower you need to manifest, gives you the energy, gives you the ideas, gives you the light and attention that's needed to manifest. But it's like, don't worry about dreaming things that feel out of reach. Like you'll be able to keep up pace with anything you dream. So dream, it's kind of like dream big. Look at the mountains, these things under the mountains. Mountains are big. There's, stature. And it's like, you've got the right ground, you've got the right energy, you've got the right power behind you to really go up into powerful things, to manifest powerful things, to imagine powerful things. Like unleash it, unleash your imagination, really let what feels the most empowering to you be what you imagine, and be what you say yes to, and be what you aspire for, like what feels empowering to you. Go for it. Yeah, so really interesting energy there. It's like, don't sleep on your imagination and dreams and those turning into goals. Okay, let's see the second thing that Spirit wants you to be more cognizant of, or have some insight into, about your July. We've got a kangaroo next to a body of water, some hills and stuff in the background. It's interesting. I don't always think of kangaroos next to water, but that's what we've got. It's like a kangaroo on vacation. I mean, what is going on here? Kangaroo, it's going somewhere. The water element feels a little bit more relaxed. Let's get a couple cards. For whatever reason, I'm not feeling a lot about that card. Okay, see a tarot. I don't know, like the only thing that's coming up to me is like it's going somewhere. And then we have a male and female. The color of the colors in the female's hair kind of mimic the watery aspect of the kangaroo card. And then those cups kind of mimic the ground it's on, the kangaroo is on. And those are water. Movement, union. Pleasure, that's what's coming up. It's like, how can you tap into more pleasure and beauty and like sensuality? something about, yeah, it's like, are you trying to go somewhere too fast? You might need to like slow down and smell the roses and just like enjoy company, enjoy the sights. It's like, where are you hurrying off towards? Like, enjoy the people you're with, the things that are around you. Like, where are you trying to go? Right? Like, this kangaroo is like going somewhere, but then the card ends. There's like nowhere to go. So slow down, enjoy this, you know, the water, some sensuality, the people you're with. You know, the color of this woman's hair makes me feel like she's dreaming. She's, you know, soft. And this water is calling for the kangaroo to take a load off, to soften. Be present to the beauty around you, the people around you. Enjoy what is in front of you, kind of thing. Yeah, look, like that body of water is in front of the kangaroo, but it's like not looking at it. Like, enjoy what's in front of you. And this female is looking, you know, both of these figures are looking into their cup. They're looking at what's in front of them. It's like, enjoy what's in front of you. Yeah, like this is a kitchen scene where it's like total summer energy, like, you know, making fresh lemonade. Like, what are the simple pleasures? Oh, why did this card come from? I guess we need to read that one too. I didn't even notice it. Like, what are the simple pleasures of summer? You know, like, slow down, make some fresh lemonade, pick some flowers. You know, it's like, just be present to what's in front of you. Like, life is happening all around you, and there's nowhere really to go right now for whatever that means to you. There's nowhere really that you need to get to. Just, yeah, enjoy the pleasures of the season, the pleasures of what is in front of you. It could be, you know, like for some of you, this would relate for me, kind of. I mean, like there's a lot of stuff going on in my household right now, so we didn't plan any, you know, summer activities or vacation, and a lot of people have things going on and they're off on, you know, doing adventures. And even though to me, like, I'm not really bothered by that because there's, you know, other things I need to be doing right now, I could see, you know, if I projected my circumstance onto, I can even just think of a friend of mine, it would drive her nuts to not have all sorts of summer plans. And that might be you. You might be that person that loves to have like a lot of summer plans or a lot of things in action. And for whatever reason, maybe that's not accessible right now. And it's saying, but like, don't, like, slow down, like, look at what's around you. Like, you have everything you need in front of you. Like, just enjoy what's there. Just enjoy the simple things, like go to the grocery store and get some fresh citrus to make a citrus juice, and, you know, a beautiful salad, and enjoy who is around you. And, you know, there's always going to be somebody in town, even if it's like a mom or a dad or your sibling or a spouse or a friend. You know, someone's usually going to be around, even if not everybody's around. Like, just, yeah, I feel like this is like advice, like take a, you know, relax. There's nowhere you need to go. There's nowhere you should be going. There's plenty in front of you to indulge in. Make lemonade. I love that. It's like, that's so funny because this card was just kind of there in the frame when I looked down. I didn't mean to have it out there. And it was just there. So I'm like, I guess I have to flip it over too. And it's exactly the same thing that I was seeing in this card, where it's like, yeah, just make some lemonade. Like, turn that lemon into lemonade. Whatever you're sour about, turn it into something sweet. everything you need to make life sweet right now is there for you. So yeah, just pay attention to what is there. It's beautiful, it's luxurious, it's pleasurable. Like, yeah, indulge in what is right in front of you. Okay, so what do the archetype cards want to say? Like, why, a little bit more about why this is coming up, or what is activating something around this, I guess. Why is this important, I guess? And we have this triangle. I mean, I couldn't help but see the womb, and so now that's all I can see. But yeah, it does feel like something's incubating, something needs something. Well, with that triangle point, the point kind of going down, it almost feels like a wedge going in downward, trying to ground. It's like there's something you need to ground right now in order to anchor life better, and in order to incubate certain things in your life or circumstances. It's like, for whatever reason in July, things are in a little bit of a nebulous place. They're a little bit adrift. But just because circumstantially it feels like that, it doesn't mean things aren't actually congealing and patterning and organizing in ways that are hard to perceive and see. And so there is this aspect of trust being asked of you, that like there is actually something really important happening, which is why you're being asked to stay put, or to, like, you know, not feel like you need to go anywhere, because it's almost like you just need to engage in a little bit of stillness, a little bit of simple pleasure, a little bit of enjoying the present moment and what is. Because something's grounding, something is anchoring into your life, and it's incubating something. And so it's like you need to be where you are in order to ground, like stabilize something that's incubating. Okay, let's see where this is going. Yeah, options are going to birth, you know, like we've got one inside of the triangle, we have one circle that's incubating, but going forward, and because we're reading for July, it's like, maybe it's like the last week of July, like things, possibilities start to break through. Like there's breakthroughs, there's action, there's movement, there's traction, there's things happening. Things now want to go places, but you need to stay still until it's like the energy asks things, you know, asks for your movement and attention and action. So like, just trust that that's coming. So enjoy what is, engage simple pleasures, enjoy what is already around you. And just know that like by the end of July, there's breakthroughs, and a lot, like all of a sudden there's going to be, you're going to have to make decisions about what you want to do and how much you can do. And like, it's like a lot all of a sudden. Suddenly you have to juggle things because there's a lot of movement. There's a lot of activity. There's a lot of people, you know, so actually nice to know ahead of time, like by the end of July, maybe the last week of July, there's going to be a lot of movement and activity and things. So while it does seem a little bit like nothing's happening and nothing's going on, actually enjoy that, because it's going to be hectic coming up. So take a load off, right? Enjoy the small, simple things, rest, dream, do the small, simple pleasures, because it's not going to stay that way. And suddenly like life is going to be activated. Things are breaking through, and it's like you won't have a minute to breathe. So breathe right now. There's nowhere to go. So breathe right now. Enjoy the simple pleasures, because suddenly all of a sudden there's going to be too many places to go, too many places to be. But it's going to feel fun. It's going to feel like you're going to feel energized for it. You're going to feel ready to meet the moment. You're going to feel lit up. Like life is a dance. Life is in motion and in flow. Like you're, you know, there's this thing of like, it's almost like your spring of the year is not the normal spring of the year. Like it could be that you have like a Leo or Virgo rising or a Leo or Virgo sun, where the sun is kind of behind your activation points right now, and so it is incubating stuff, whereas like getting into, you know, into Leo season, suddenly it's like your spring, your wake up time, your personal spring of the year. That's what this feels like. You're heading towards, you know, and it doesn't have to associate with astrology. This might just be other, you know, other things of why this is happening. But all of it is to say that end of July, or maybe it will be August or September, at some point in the coming month or couple months, your activation, it's like you have your spring of the year, your morning and wake up time of the year, and you're now rested and energized and rejuvenated, and you're ready to go, very fresh, very you know, light on your feet, clear-headed. You know, you've given yourself some rejuvenation, and then suddenly things get active, and it just feels like your spring of this year. It may not be that that's your every year, but something about this year, your activation point is not yet here. Maybe you seeded something special last year in Leo season or something, and then it manifests in this Leo season, and it like activates, you know. So you may not be a Leo, but maybe there was something important you seeded at that time. You know, there's something like that. It's like, just wait, like it's gonna get good. Something really, really refreshing, clear, direct, bright, energetic is coming. So just until you feel that moment, just chill and enjoy what is, and have some downtime and enjoy that. So that is where I'm going to leave you guys. I hope this reading resonated. I hope you have a beautiful July. I do love what I've seen for you guys. It's really interesting energy. I think both of the circumstances that came out here call for a little bit of like, you know, some daydream time, some down time. So lean into that for this pile. Yeah. So anyway, I hope it resonated. If so, I always appreciate all the things, like, share, subscribe, especially comments help with helping other people find this reading. And thank you for being here. I always enjoy reading for everyone that comes here. So thank you for being here. And I wish you a beautiful July, and I'll see you in future readings.